Hello everyone, you have my sincerest apologies. We're going to be doing a brief stream, pretty much only an hour long, unfortunately. It was meant to be two, even. I meant to even do it beforehand, but a lot of things got in the way today, unfortunately. I hope you're all having an absolutely lovely night. Stream will be starting soon. Thank you very much. Howdy ho, my apologies. 1 second, everyone. So I will also seize that on. Surprise, this doesn't. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just switch. Let me just change it and then switch it back. There we go. Let me do the same to Spotify. Bam. Bam. Okay, and alrighty. Let's see here. Let's have that pulled up. Take a look at our wrist here. OVR toolkit has not loaded yet. That's fine. Gonna FPT real quick. Just get myself settled. Very sorry. it shouldn't have taken this long, but not only did I face issues earlier trying to just get everything running, VRChat has a big preference when it comes to taking a hell of a long time to load and adjust itself, as well as let's see. Oh, when I just pull out StreamCam, duh. Oh, that's right. I meant to add my additional cam on. My bad. No, we both know that's a lie. I'm gonna take you on with me tonight. Oh, and make you lose your mind. And take you home with me tonight. Oh, dancing morning light. Bum ba na 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 na. All right, let's see. Make sure this is pin 1. Yes, it is indeed. Fly a little bit. Look down. No. Okay, 1 sec. Oops, daisy. Hello. Oh dear. My apologies. Let me. Yeah. Okay, now I can mess with the camera. Alright. Pin number 2. Move over. Fly. Okay. Okay. It isn't going to always be this. It's going to be like this for when we're like at certain parts of Tierland. Just a little bit even. Not even really this much. Actually, be a little forward. Okay. And I'm just going to set up a third pin just cause. Really just cause. I'm not even going to lie to you. Just cause. Alright. Let's take a pin here. Let's back up. Right behind me, the bean. Okay. And then switch to pin 1. Alright. Real quick. I'm going to make sure that we're Tierland first before I set up first person cam. And also possibly stream avatars. And, oh, I think my chat is finally working. Oh my god. Dude, it took so long just to get anything working tonight. Oh, correct. My apologies. I just remembered. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Spotify. Give me 1 second. Actually, let me also test something. What do I have my mute set for? F5? Or was it F4? No. It was F5. Okay. Coolio. Radical. Okay. Do. Where is it? Actually, wait a minute. I don't know if I actually saved it. It's fine. We're just gonna play Tierland anyway. We're just gonna be talking about stuff together. If not just me talking about it, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, yeah. A second. Invite. Plus. Alright, there we go. Shall be only a second, everyone. I'm very sorry that it started so late. I meant to actually start like hours ago, but some stuff did get in the way, which is unfortunate. A lot more than you could ever know. Like, oh my god. Thankfully, you're not hearing about McDonald's ad right now. They're telling you about chicken nuggies, but I bet you're probably into that, aren't you? Take a drink here. Ba-da-ba-ba, just let go. Feet won't touch the ground. Give me a second. Oh, my bad. It was a bad time to put on keyboard, I guess. It's a little strange. It doesn't, Oh? Strange. Give me a second. Wow, I've never seen you do that before. What about alt stat? Alt gray? No, not it. Okay, not the vibe. What about FN? Hey, yo, there it is. Let me see if that fixed the sound. And put Spotify back on. It did! I'm learning new things. I am learning new things. Yes. Yeah, okay, I don't remember my pin being this close. Let me just... Even closer. I don't know about that. Oh, that's because it took... Oh, that's what happened. Okay, but what happened to the other pins? Oh, okay. Oh, alright. Freaky. Anyway. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna set up my pin too. Alright. Fly, my pretty. Fly! Oh my god, why is it... Can I... No! How does it... What? Wait, on the other side is there... Oh, it doesn't even do that. It's literally on one side. Is there no way to, like, snap it to the side and kind of, like, flip it? Because it doesn't look that good. Look at it. No. That's a little sad. That's a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Alright. Behavior. Photo, look at me smooth. No. I don't want anything smooth right now. Nope. Really? I'm surprised that they don't have a flipped. What about a mask? Would that change anything? No, they don't. They just simply don't have a flipped version. Wow. That's upsetting. But I mean, hey, it's not like... Man, I wonder how the other people do it then. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. No, still that. It's like, what if I... No. Maybe I'm Dumbo. Maybe I'm just Dumbo, and that's the reason why I'm not doing this right. Okay. It's fine. It's fine, guys. Anyway. Okay. Okay. Now, one moment. Uno momento. I'm gonna... Okay. And then I'm gonna have to open up a new window real quick. New window. I hate how short this stream's gonna have to be, but I maybe I shouldn't have streamed at all, but I mean, like, I'm already putting plans in action, so why not follow through? Right? That's what everyone tells you to do, follow through. What you got? Bum-ba-na-na-na-na. 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 Keep it going. And then you say, but I love the bassoon. What you got? Mr. Baby, something real high. something real high. What you got? Okay, sorry. My brain is like, whoa, right now. Tisha, permission, let's have a ball. Say what you got. What you got? Yeah. Alright, cool. Hi! Okay. Coolio. Now, where's my pins? Alright, cool. So how's it going? Oh. I see now. Give me a second. Maybe I can move my thing a little bit. Let me, cause... Wait. What the fuck? I fixed myself and then it still did that. Okay, no. Bad. Am I bad bean? I could be bad bean. I don't want to be bad bean, no. Okay, wait a sec. There's a way to do this. There's a way to do this without me being Dumbo. But I'm gonna be pretty Dumbo, I'm sure. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna... I think I gotta leave it there for this pinned. But hello, how's it going? Okay, let's see here. Alright. Wait. Why is it like that? No. Give me a second. The thing is, the anchor's supposed to be local, not world. So I'm gonna look at my other pin. That pin is supposed to be global. And my third pin is supposed to be, I'm gonna guess it's set to global, because it's supposed to be local. Okay, and that's fine. Okay. And then set my first pin. Here we go. Will it move with me? It will move with me. Okay, good. Alright. So let's take a look here, my fellow gentlemen. No, I didn't mean it. It made me pick one. No. Alright. There we go. Alright. I'm going to clear and reset everything. So, let's see. What is our first thing that we're going to talk about? So, I actually already... So, here's the thing. I will probably do the adult cartoon section some other time. I already did the adult cartoon sections with my friend Eerie Wolf. Eerie the Sweet Bean. Sorry, I think... No, that's right. He did come. It is Eerie Wolf. Okay. Sorry, I just had to ensure... Wait a minute. You know what? Oh, I figure C loves doing that. I gotta make sure that I'm putting my arms behind my back so there's a list of processes it tries to pull out a menu. And then I also have to break my fucking back or go in the other direction and look away from it so it'll pop up. Okay. It is Eerie Wolf. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, boom. Alright. So, and actually, I forgot to post it. I forgot to post it on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I'm gonna, trust me, he's probably gonna be like, I wonder why that post hasn't gone up. I've straight forgotten. I've thought about it multiple times, and I still haven't done it, but I'll get it. We'll get to it. I want to let you know, other days I do plan to do some more tier land, and it would be cool to do it with people as well. Okay, so let's start simple. Okay, maybe not simple. Actually, you know what? Fuck it all. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so many. Oh my god, there's so many. Alright, something that's not overwhelming. I'm surprised I don't have straight up fucking, where is the straight... God damn. Where are, like, just straight cartoons? I only saw adult cartoons in here. I was like, fuck, does nobody have any nostalgia in their bones? What the hell? Why is it normal cartoons on here, too? Alright, you know what? Fuck it, I can do it. Yeah, I can do this one, because I've played over, like, 3,000 hours. I've played over 3,000 hours of Smash over across all of the Smash, okay? I've probably played, Melee in, like, 64 the least. Okay. So, but we're gonna do this, like, Do it like it's Smash Ultimate, okay? Well, the current Smash, yeah. Snake, okay. Oh god. Oh, that's so hard. Oh no, but I just realized why I shouldn't be doing that. Okay. No, are we No, no, I meant all shit, it's Thursday. Hi, Wolfen, it's nice to see you. Sorry, it's all shit, it's Thursday. Because I was actually supposed to go to, and the thing is, I've been forgetting every single Thursday, and I've been trying to be good about it, and I keep fucking forgetting. But I wanna, but my friend Commander, like, if you know Commander A9, he also goes by Chevron. Actually, yeah, that's his persona's name. So he holds game night. He holds game night, and and that's where I met like a fine amount of new friends there too. And I love hanging out with everybody there and stuff like that. And I love playing and going there. It's just that the time does not always line up for me. And then eventually, when I remember, oh hey, it's fucking Thursday, I should go. It's literally almost about to be over, and I keep getting so upsetty spaghetti. Okay, so I want to let everyone know beforehand. Oh god, is this by opinion or is this by like what I think their moveset? I think I might have made a mistake making the Smash roster. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to. No, but it would be so. I would. I need other people here with me to do the Smash roster. I think I need other people here with me to do the Smash roster. All right. Okay. Let me. VR chat Game Worlds. That'd be easy for me. Gold Guardians. I haven't seen this, and I don't know anything about it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna put an unknown tier, which is a box over there. Cards Against VRC. Listen, Cards Against VRC is great. Has a bunch of laughs, but it is a little mid. But the thing is, it's better than C, so I think it's B, to be honest. I'm gonna put in B. Remnant VR? Okay. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with this. And especially, like, Quest users. And the thing is, its Quest compatibility needs to be fixed, so the performance, like, you can still load everything correctly. But, until then, like, here's the thing. I've spent hours and 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 hours in Remnant VR. Just replaying it with the same build. It's just so fun for me because I'm like an action like shooter kind of like gamer, or at least I have been recently for like the last few years. Let's see. I'll send you a reminder next time. Want me to pop in for extra commentary? Hey, I like Remnant VR. Yo, I would be down for if you popped it. But the thing, dude. Okay, I want to let you know though. It's 11:42, and I actually got to go at 12:30. So you wouldn't be here long, and this is a brief stream, like a really brief stream. Like I just want to let you know, I don't want you to go through all that hassle. If you, you know, if you're only going to be here, and I'm only going to be here for like a moment, and I'm very sorry. I really like Remnant VR, and I actually joined a unofficial Remnant VR like server that has achievement hunting on it, and I actually did like a stream or two achievement hunting. Unfortunately, it was back when I didn't do like a stream archive. So I didn't, but I have actually earned some of the achievements that they set up there. So let's see. It's an S for me. It's actually an S for me. Oh, I just realized I have it set like this, and okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna set it to my other pin. Okay, let's see here. Murder 4. Murder 4 is a classic, but to be honest, while it has grown stale over the time, and you'll find a lot of friends there, but you'll also be annoyed the hell out of. It's truly so. I definitely think it's better than Cards of Humanity, but I don't think it's as good as Remnant. And then eventually we'll be doing some editing. Bingo 200. Old school dabbing with a vengeance. I haven't played it, unfortunately. At least this is giving me knowledge of things that are like known to other players that I should be doing. Let's see. Prop hunt. Okay. My goodness gracious. Huh. Okay. So I've enjoyed prop hunt. Okay, so I've enjoyed Prop Hunt myself a good amount of the time. But the thing is, I only ever play it when I'm actually at when it's the game of choice at Chevron's Thursday game nights. So it's a great game. Is it better than Murder 4? And is it okay? I think that it's better than Cards Against Humanity, even though it can be frustrating for some people. Danger Roulette. I've played Danger Roulette. It's good for some fun, to be honest, but it's not very in-depth. But it can be pretty funny, and you'll usually find yourselves, like, laughing together. It's gonna be C or B for me. Anybody have any opinions there? Okay, yeah, by the time I get in, you may pop off. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Solve who the killer is. It's just bang, well, you're not the killer next. Yeah, I fucking know, right? Some people will be like that. People will be like that in murder, and it's so aggravating. But I mean, it's process of elimination, and I'm not going to lie. I have been guilty of it before, but it's also because I don't know why, but when it comes to games, everyone loves winning. And I'm so sorry for that. Sometimes I'll play the bit, sometimes I won't, you know? Danger Roulette. Okay. We're going to be affixing some of these. We're going to be affixing some of these, okay? A Murder 3. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. Give me a second. Let me also put on my mirror. It'll Okay, so here's the thing. Definitely nowhere near good as Murder 4. And I'm not gonna... It's so... Sometimes so aggravating. I don't know. The Murder ones, like, while classic, and yeah, sometimes you go back to them, but that's for, like, flavor alone. You don't do it because you're actually enjoying a lot of the time. It's more like if you're running through all the games with your friends. So I think I'm going to... God, but the thing is, it's not really that good either. There's some spots where you can just get, like, caught. Like the whole map does not go around the whole map. Like, if you go left, sometimes you can't circle back to the middle or circle over to the right. That's why Murder 4 is so good, because you will always have multiple routes to take. Not to mention because of the extra stuff that they added. So I'm not going to lie. But hey, okay, so here's the thing. Murder 3... of course, is just, like, heading towards Murder 4. It's the workup. So here's the thing. No hate to Murder 3, but it is definitely lesser. So, we're gonna put it in D tier, unfortunately. Those that are sensitive to self-harm should not play Danger Roulette. Yeah, that is true. That is true. No, if you're sensitive to Danger Roulette, do not do it, okay? Let me change myself, see if I can... Okay, I can see myself in there. Got it, I'm just checking. Okay. Udon Chicken Horse. I haven't played Udon Chicken Horse, but that's another one for the unknown tier, for something for me to check out someday. Which I would really like. Sometime, maybe one day I would just stream where we're checking out the new games and stuff like that. Chicken versus chicken. I mean, kitchen versus chicken. See, the chicken horse already has me. It has me doing it up, bro. Okay. So, kitchen versus kitchen is something, I must say. I like it. I'm not good at it. I think that it can be fun, but sometimes I'm not enjoying myself. But it can be fun. I like it. So, okay, here's the thing. We aren't going to be going through, like, let's see. I've played on... It can be fun, but the single level is limiting. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, totally. Thank you, Wolfen. Let's see here. But it's better than the other ones. Actually, you know what? Listen, you may be having fun with it, but I actually, now that I think about it, because we have, like, some more stuff to, like, point out, I actually think that adds some color to it. Okay. Okay, actually, until then, real quick, I'm gonna... Wait a minute. Does that just... You can flex it. Oh my god, I feel so stupid. I didn't know that you could just... Oh, I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb that I never knew that you could just flip it like that. I feel like such a dummy, dude. feel like such a dummy. Okay, okay. All right, let's see here. Now I'll take the flying away. All right, good. All right, so let's see here. Udon boxing. So here's the thing. Udon boxing, when I is actually one of the first things I ever actually played when I was like on VRC quest, when I was a questie starting in like what was, I think, May or March of 2021. I think May is when I actually started having a social life on VRC. So let's see. I find udon boxing fun. It's just that sometimes it feels like things don't hit accurately. But the thing is, it's still one of the best. It's still one of the best. But it's the best of physical. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes the ones aren't really that good. Okay, here's the thing. It's a fine game and it serves its purpose. There's just not a lot of nuance to it. Which can be fun and tiring. It's a good workout. It is a good workout. I agree. Okay. B. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we're gonna move this down. We're gonna move this also down. And then I think maybe Cards Against VRC should be C. It's okay. We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. And who knows, we might not get to finish tonight, but we're going to be doing our best. Okay. Thank you very much, Wolfin. It's nice to have someone here that I can talk to. If I know this correctly, it's this weird Guardians game by Jar that I've played before. I think it's something about Call of the Iconist. I can't remember the name, but I do recognize what the game is based on this alone, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It's not for everyone though, and I don't think it's the most inclusive if you don't know what you're doing. You know what? Okay, I'll put it with C for now. Battle discs R. Give me 1 second. Let me just refresh my thing here. Don't have much to say. Can't find people to play it with. It's not very popular nowadays. Which one were you speaking about when you said that, by the way? The Udon boxing or the icon class? Or like which one were you speaking about personally? I'm just wondering. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Now that we have things there. Okay. All right, cool. Give me a second. Should I separate them? The Guardian one? Yeah, I know, right? Maybe we can try it together sometime, dude. Stream cam, how about this? Wait, did I just switch it up again? Or did I do the same thing? Oh no, I switched it. Okay, okay. Howdy. just checking out. All right. So let's see here. Also, let me maybe change up the opacity just a little bit, make it a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Okay, radical. So let's see. Okay, so battle discs. Oh, I forgot. Oopsie daisy, my bad. Let me see how that looks on stream as well. Okay. Actually, it's probably good that I have that like this now. So now it's actually it's not going to get interrupted by like the first person thing. Okay, that's good. Okay, so, oh, I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. So, battle discs. I enjoy it, and I actually find it fun. I always find it relevant myself, actually, and it's nice to play with friends. It can be a little hard, though, if you don't play it a lot. Especially the ones, especially the battle discs one that are like tourney based. So let's see here. I'm gonna go with. Oh man, but it's pretty good though. Do I like it more than the others? As bad as I am in it, I'm gonna give it an A. To be honest, I do enjoy it. It is a good one. Chess, I'm not gonna lie. I can't play chess. I literally do not have it in my brain to play any kind of chess, and since I don't know the world, I'm gonna put an unknown tier over here. That's 4 in unknown tier. That's crazy already. Truth or dare? Truth or dare can be fun, but it can also be sort of boring. It really depends on the crowd that you're working with and also the questions that you get. And I kind of don't like the ones that aren't like. And Truth or Dare is played by like all age groups, or at least age groups below 18 as well in VRC, which is unfortunate. And they have kinky questions in there, which is sad. I kind of wish that they could just split it up, just be like, is there anyone in your instance that is under 18? And then you just click it, and then it changes the loadout of all the questions so that you don't get the ones that aren't for your age, that aren't for the majority age group, or at least like, I mean, what do I say it? I mean, if there's one, they should probably just not. Then the question shouldn't be there at all, or they should not be there at all. Is what I'm feeling. Give me a second. I gotta listen. I may have shaved my Jesus American. Abraham Lincoln, Amish Jebediah beard, but my hair is still long, so I have to fix it. All right, truth or dare? Very much a social game. Use a good ice when playing new people. That's also a good idea. That's a fantastic point there, buddy. Wolfen. Let's see here. Oh, that's so hard though. Oh no. I don't think it's as enjoyable as all the other ones, but I think it is good for what the game is. You know. Never have I ever automated. I don't know. I haven't played this in a while, but I do remember the last time I did play Never Have I Ever, but it was actually a year or two ago. And honestly, I need people to play Never Have I Ever with me now. So, animated. Okay. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. I'm gonna go with C. I'm not gonna lie to you. Won multiple times. It's good for what it is. Offer slides. Actually, wait a minute. You're correct. Due to the variety of. Oh wait, no, it's in B. Based on the variety of topics that is there, actually, I'm gonna put an A. You make that's a good point. Actually, I didn't think about that. Laser Dome. Okay, here's the thing. So while I haven't in a while, I don't, because I'm a social nomad, I don't always stick to like one group. Usually I'll be fluffing around a bunch of groups, you know, and they'll just see me every once in a while. But here's the thing. I'd like to think that my home in VRC, if we're talking about a community, as much as I love the ones that are based on the other thing, even if I go to them a little bit more now than I used to, but that's because I like meeting new people and getting to see all the new things and talking about that stuff. I like to believe that my home in VRC is with the X community, so Sirix community. Sirix Media, there we go, my bad. And he created Laserdome. And Laserdome is actually where I met a ton of new friends, and honestly, so many of them have been like amazing people, and I've enjoyed playing with them and talking to them. It's where I met Erie. And I met fucking Nick Retro, and I met fucking Sir Nate. I met I Do Not Exist, and Aquarius, and Zuganda. And Najakari, he's such a sweet bean. Let's see. Also Kit Kat. Oh God, I'm surprised, dude. I'm still listing names. That's how much it means to me, dude. I'm still listing names, and I'm literally head empty person. So it's so funny because I'm actually remembering this well, and it's just I spent so much time there when I was playing frequently, and I need to. Not to mention that's also where I met Chevron, Commander A9. And that's also the reason why I've been able to go to those like Thursday night like game nights with him, and it's so cool, you know. So I'm not gonna lie, this not only is a fantastic game, it's close to my heart. Not to mention, I want to let you guys know he posted on Sirix posted on what do you call it? Twitter. Yeah, sorry, my brain is like melted. Oh my God, it's 30 minutes until. First shooter in tight quarters, lots of fun, especially in large groups. Yes, indeed. Though you will find some people that have like, if you're playing in like groups, and sometimes if it's like public, you'll find people that are actually play the game for a long time that are in the community that will like thrash you guys. But there's only some people in the community that won't hold their horses, but there was this community-wide thing that we needed to do and talk about, and eventually the fair amount of the people decided that if you're a regular and you play like a lot, you ought to take it down a notch when you're playing with like new players or casual players. You know, it's just the right thing to do. You know. Anyway, so they can like learn to love and have their game experience too. Because the thing is that if you're always shot down and you can never shoot, you're never getting better, and you cannot play the game, stuff like that. You know. But this automatic S tier. For me, it even goes above Remnant. I think it goes above Remnant for real. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I enjoy it, and I believe that community is like one of the homes to me. Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. Oh no. Give me a second. Let me. Because the thing is, I'm a shorty right now. I'm a pretty small shorty right now. Give me a second. Oh my god, no, that was my actual size. Give me a second. Let me just. I'm just gonna. All right, radical. Okay. Sorry, I just had to move things around a little bit. All right. Because being short is adorable and you're adorable being. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I love being a short, teeny little bean. It makes me happy. Tombow Battlefield. Tombow Battlefield. Quite the classic, I would say. Very great. I enjoy playing with people that are my friends, and also against just randos. I'm not gonna lie, it'll still give you sometimes hours of entertainment as long as you like cut it up into sections, as well as the other Tombow Battlefields. You want to cut them up into sections. They're not something you want to be playing for too long, but if you want to play it for like 20, 30 minutes even maybe 40, 50, that's cool. Just try not to play it for more than an hour, and you shouldn't get burnt out on it. So let's see here. What are we gonna do about you, Tombow? Because the thing is, I have fun memories with Tombow. Is it better than the others though? I think I do like it more than Battle Discs though. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. All right. Okay, so this is one of the ones I played a fair bit when I was running in with a bad crowd, unfortunately. Well, the bad crowd was actually mostly one person. It was one person. Everybody around them was lovely. They were just the bad person. And we played this a few times, and it's actually a pretty good game. Very good night advice guessing game that, you know, you have to guess what they do, what they're trying to communicate based on pictures. And kind of matching ones up with the pictures. It's been a while since I've played, so I can't really think about it too much. Tombow I had fun with. Hard to find players sometimes. It is hard to find players sometimes, especially with the new Tombow out. They're split between them, and I think that Tombow is fun. I would be down to play. It would be cool if one day in the future, if like say far along in the future, even possibly in a galaxy far, far away, I would one day have a fucking community if I could get my shit together. And if so, then we have a community night and we can play stuff like this or any of this stuff, you know? It'd be fun, man. All right. So for this, I'm not gonna lie. It's funny and fun, but it's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the thing is, I don't think Danger Roulette is that bad, but measurement-wise, I feel like this is correct. Town of Salem. So here's the thing. Town of Salem is based off the original game Town of Salem, which I played a lot of time before the VRC World came out. I played it regularly. And I used to know all the things. Like, legitimately, I knew almost everything about this game. But now that I haven't played in a while, and I did play a lot, actually, of it in VRC, even when it wasn't on someone like stream or something like that. It was great. I wasted so many hours playing Town of Salem because I wanted to understand. But the thing about Town of Salem is you need a good host. You need an experienced host, you know, to do that shit. And the better that you become a host at Town of Salem, the faster and better games get. So the less time that people are wasting. And so it can be a little tricky. If we can find somehow an automated Town of Salem, then it could work out and everything could be chill. But for now, Town of Salem is host based. So here's the thing: it's an amazing game. It held even in an astounding game. It's excellent, and the original Town of Salem is excellent as well. It's roles to play lots of mode. Yeah, it's exactly. It's advanced. It's still advanced, and it's still advancing the normal game at least. So, but then it's also hard though. I feel hesitant to put an S tier due to being host dependent. Okay, so let's just say you get a good host. Possibly not a great host, possibly not a decent host, and I would put an A. But let's just say that Town of Salem is running at its max capacity. If it's running at its max capacity, then I must say, and you're okay with using all that time, I must say that it's an S tier game. But the thing is that sometimes it's just not, and sometimes you deal with awful fucking people in it, and it's awful. Beat Saber, VRC Beat Saber, it's fine. It's good, it's okay. It's not excellent, possibly not even great, it's good. It can be fun, especially with y'all that love Beat Saber. But the thing is, I don't really like Beat Saber. I'm terrible at Beat Saber, and I'm not willing to get better. I'm not willing to get better. The only time I'd be willing to get better is if I had my own VRC, like, avatar that was my own, that actually looked good, and it would look good playing Beat Saber. And then I'd put it in, and then I'd wait until I could put it in the game, find out how to put it in the game, put it in the game, play it, and then I'd practice Beat Saber. It's got a very active community, and hosts are vetted before given the role. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. And there, I must say, unfortunately, there is one person, that one bad person I was talking about is actually a host for, or was, the last time I heard from them, they were a host in the community, unfortunately. And I just hope that they're gone, because they're not good for other people, despite being good host for the game. So yeah, but yeah, Town of Salem is excellent. VRC Beat Saber. Beat Saber. It's... Beat Saber is excellent. Beat Saber is excellent. But the thing is that, like, at the VRC world, I'm unsure. But it does let you do it in your thing, but I'm personally not a fan. And the thing is, I'm unsure. Get to normal mode on regular Beat Saber. The levels of VRC are ridiculous. Yeah, I know! It's so... This is for people that have inhuman, like, scanning, reaction, like, all that stuff that can take in all that information, clap, like, that fast. I'm not always that people. I'm that people when it comes to shooter games, and I play that shooter game a lot, and that I can think about through my moves a lot, like playing Hyper Dash or Overwatch, but I'm not gonna lie, and Paladins, but I'm not gonna lie, it's been a lot since I've played any of those games. I'm not gonna lie, I want to give it a C. I want to give it a C myself, but I know that people aren't really gonna be happy. It might deserve a B. I think it might deserve a B. I think I'm just being a little, you know, about my personal feelings on it. Never Have I Ever. I haven't played this exactly Never Have I Ever, but because of that, I'm going to put it up with the other Never Have I Ever. Do you know anything differently on this Never Have I Ever animated to Never Have I Ever up here? This one? Yeah, I imagine it's the original Never Have I Ever. Courtroom! Here's the courtroom. This is the VRC drama thing. I have never been in a VRC drama court case, nor have I witnessed one, but I should probably try that sometime. At least just pop into a public instance and see what the fuck is going on. But until then, I think that it's fine, and it probably serves its purpose, and I know a lot of people get a lot of laughs out of it. So I'm going to put it, but like how a lot of people get out of laughs out of Cards Against VRC, I'm going to put it in the C tier. You're not familiar with the second one I pulled? Okay, well then give me a second. Instead, I'm just gonna yoink. I'm gonna shove it in here, my man. Yeah. Alright, let's see here. Bomber.io. Bomber.io. I've played a fair amount of Bomber.io. It can get pretty repetitive and also can get pretty boring, but it can also be pretty fun. At least when you're not dealing with people that will abuse play space and stuff like that. Like how people will sometimes abuse play space in Magic Freeze Tag, but less so. Because strangely, people care about Bomber.io more than Magic Freeze Tag. And to be honest, I'm really happy for that, because I rather prefer Magic Freeze Tag. Bomber.io is a pretty good game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A. Courtroom. I've been to the world, but never really gotten to roleplay game. I would if we're role playing straight up, then I would probably go. This is Kitchen cooks. Dinner is served. I would say that it makes basically the same. B tier. Spy check. Intruder alert. Spy check. Spy check is pretty alright game. It's pretty fun. It can also have you asking weird questions about people. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. I enjoy some of my time in it, and it's either B or C. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Eventually, I'm gonna have to put some of these downward. Actually, wait a second. I'm gonna wait. Zombie tag. Zombie tag's pretty good. Zombie tag is also, though it's not really that polished, but they do have a lot of places where you can hide and also like it can be pretty fun. It can be pretty fun for both parties. I am going to give it though, since I don't think it's that polished or that great, but it can be fun. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Tanks. I haven't gotten to play tanks in this one. What is tanks like? Good for a few rounds, yeah. Stale after a while. Good in short games. Are you talking about spy check? Or are you talking about kitchen cooks or bomber IO? Oh wait a minute. Did it censor your comment because you said bomb or something? Tanks can be fun. Controls are a little confusing at first, but easy to pick up. That's great. I know the original tanks. The original tanks is good. So I believe that if this is basically the same thing, then it's pretty good. Then I'm gonna give it a C, and I'm gonna start putting ones down a little bit. I'm gonna put the Spirit Speak down. Fuck. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Ooh, this is gonna hurt me. This is gonna hurt people I know. I think so too. At least they're gonna be like, "You think that about that?" I don't know. Okay. Well, I mean, it does provide. Fuck, grr. Okay, you know what? Just for now, I'm gonna put it down here just so we can like kind of flavor it out. Tanks might be the same actually. Wait a sec. God. Fuck. Okay, wait. Bomber out, yeah. Period in a minute. Appear like web link. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. That is indeed what happened. Udon Tycoon. I haven't tried it. I don't know anything about it. Tell me how if you've played it, how Udon Tycoon is, I guess. But I'm gonna go on to the next one. Better Uno. I've played Better Uno. I played it mostly when I was starting out. Boomerang. Okay, never tried it. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you so much for being here, Wolfen. It really does help actually. Better Uno. Card stacking. Okay, it's been forever, and I probably need to go to some, but I think it's better with friends rather than strangers. You know what? I'm gonna go B, and then I'm gonna start. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be a patient boy. Super tower defense. A lot of people love this. However, I don't, and I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. The thing is that, listen, tower defense genre is a great genre. It's just never been the one for me, which is very unfortunate, I must say. And I don't really enjoy it that much. I get bored when I'm in the same world as this, you know? Even my friends are enjoying it, I'm not really enjoying myself. I'm more of a active participant kind of person. Destroyed with the +4 card. Yeah, right? Who knows where they can be destroyed. Super tower defense. Personally, I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy that super tower defense. Hook Junkers. I've played Hook Junkers. Honestly, it can be pretty fun, especially if you stay in there for more than 20 minutes and actually get good at it again. In terms of, like, enjoyment, B, and then I'm gonna start taking some down, I'd like to think. Give me a second. Alright, so let's see here. What are we gonna move? I think we are... Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Let's just move this so I can... It makes it easier if we have the duplicate versions next to each other. I'm not gonna lie. I actually just like straight kitchen cooks better. I'm so sorry. I actually think maybe I should be moving Tombo a little bit further down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sorry, but I think I'm actually gonna be moving Beat Saber as well. Like this is just my personal tier list, okay? This is just my personal tier list, and you're coloring it for me. Another time I will do. Another time I will definitely do it. So the thing is, if this stream was longer, I did in fact mean for me to have the same list, but then have that, take a picture, and then to have to put on Twitter or social media, and then switch it back and be like, and then this is what stream decided, and then we all come to like a majority agreement, or at least the closest that we can come to said compromise. And damn. You like tower defense, but everyone's got the cup of tea. Yeah, I hear you. I'm glad you do. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know why, but I've actually been pretty damn good at this and have been very accurate with my guesses. And the thing is that geography is not my thing. But knowing small, dumb, niche things about cultures is my thing. And you can also, like, is one of my things. But, like, the thing is I can't just straight up tell you, but like, oh, give me a fact. No, you gotta give specifics. You gotta give specifics for me to come anywhere close to giving you anything. But, with geolocator, you guys aren't gonna understand this. No one's going to understand this. No one's gonna understand that the act that I am about to make. But I think that for what this game is, it's pretty good game, and it has a lot of people talking to each other, making guesses, thinking, and seeing like all of them just connect and how close you guys came. It gives a lot of feelings to people, strangely enough. So no one's gonna understand this. But I'm gonna put an S tier. I've never played this game. Well, I've tried. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoy it. VRWare is alright. VRWare is pretty alright. It's pretty alright. I have fun doing it sometimes. I mean, it's good. Okay, listen, it's good with a lot of people. It's good with a lot of people. Spawn out. Surf Udon. I've never played Surf Udon. I wonder what it's like. Oh yeah, it's like the surf like Gmod things that people do, right? It's like those surf videos. Okay, so you know, like back then. Okay, so everyone knows that years ago, and he still kind of is. Everyone knows Leafy is kind of a bastard, right? He's a little an asshole. But the thing is that over all of his videos, he was playing the Gmod surf like things for like a fair amount of his, you know, when he actually wasn't in front of the camera. And I'm so sorry that I actually have an opinion on a person. Yeah, that's right. Man, I mean, having an opinion on a YouTuber, damn, I must be committing a criminal offense. The police must be coming to my door right now. But no, but seriously, Surf Running is okay. You get it. Course, and then try to beat your own time. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's good. I know that. I just, but I haven't played either of them, unfortunately. But yo, I feel you. Thank you, Wolfen. I appreciate that. Having, you know, someone to talk to for all this is pretty good. Super VR Ball. So this is basically Super Monkey Ball, right? Fuck, it's 12:17. Super Monkey Ball, right? I got 12 more to go. And it's okay. It's okay, honestly. I think it's a little hard to play though, but I think it can be used for good parties. So, but I still think it's C tier. I'm gonna, okay, you know what? Everyone's gonna hate me. Everyone's just gonna hate me, but I'm gonna move Beat Saber even further down. Okay. A Haunted Asylum. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. But this is a one-er and doneer, and then you show it to your friends if they haven't done it. But due to it being a one-er and doneer, it's a D. But it is good. It is good. No, don't get me wrong. Just because that these are all listed from S to F tier does not mean that I dislike any of them. Okay, except for tower defense. But and maybe Beat Saber. But you know, this is just my personal opinion. This is just my list. Know your friends better. I played this only a few times, and I still very much enjoy it. I think it's actually a great way to get to know your friends better. It might be better than all the rest of the Know Your Friends, and because of that fact, I'm actually going to put it in S tier. Asylum is okay. Yeah, one and done, because yeah, exactly. For like a bit of yes. Yeah, exactly. Twitch, please open up. Yes, no, I haven't played this, but I think this would be fun, and I'm glad that we can see this, so that, with 400 questions, wow. So I'm not gonna do this because I haven't seen it. I haven't played it. So I'm gonna put it in unknown tier. We're gonna move on. 100 cars. 100 cars is good for some people, and the thing is, I love that. It's nice that some people do enjoy the surf stuff. They do enjoy the car stuff, and that's good for them. Not for me. So, and because of that, this is the personal one. This is the personal one. Another day we'll do like a lot of tier lists. I honestly am really enjoying playing Tierland. I never knew it could be this fun, talking to people as well, or just thinking about it yourself, because it shoves stuff in your face and it lets you make decisions and form your own opinions. It's fun. It is just funny. Your friends offer lots of topics as well as 18+ topics. Yes, it does. It's where thermal treatment is all right. Kind of a one and doneer still too, but it's pretty all right. Is it better than Danger Roulette, though? Is it better than Haunted Asylum? I enjoy it more, but I don't really think it is, actually. Which is kind of weird and frustrating to me at the same time. Evolvant Defuse. Is this the VRC version of it's like the Don't Stop Talking or We All Blow Up kind of game, like that game. You know what game I'm talking about. The one where where you're trying, or one person has the manual and the other person has the bomb and they have to do that. It can be pretty alright. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck. But do I enjoy it more than the other games? Here's the thing. I don't enjoy it more than the other games based on what it is. I'll say C. And I know that it's so weird that I'm like being like, oh, based on enjoyment, and then based on like how I think the world is itself. I know that I'm judging based on different things, but we don't have a lot of time, and I am also trying to get through this and think. Among Us, another made by Jar, as well, like Murder and the cult thing right here where they chase you, very good. Let's see, I'm trying to think about all the others. I don't see any other Jar ones except for the other Murder and that Murder, and yeah, that's all the ones I see, or at least the ones that I know made by her. Anyway, so let's see. I honestly, Among Us still kind of makes A rank for me. I don't know. Honestly, on some degree, I think it's B, but honestly, I still think it kind of matches for A. Meat Grinder, have not played it. Have not played it. What we'll call Don't Stop Talking. I think I played one. Still kind of like, yeah. Fun with friends. Some RNG like involved. Yo, okay. Yeah, I feel you. Pop and Escape. I want to play that one, and I've tried before, but I think something happened. Magic Freeze Tag. Now, listen, I know some people don't like this. Some people don't like this based on, because like sometimes you will spend some rounds just sitting there forever, just frozen, because that no one has unfortunately come to get you because either they got frozen or no one goes your way, and sometimes you just get frozen in a really bad spot, and that's fine. But I want to let you know that I've spent hours and 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 playing it just because I've enjoyed bunny hopping and getting away like so quickly. It can just be so fun, you know? But so and I've met like a good amount of friends there, and I've had a lot of good time there, even though I'm not gonna lie, I play this a little too competitively. I play it too competitively, and I simply can't help myself, and I love it. I even go small for it. I know that some people say it is deceiving, but no, technically you do hit the ground faster, and thus you can jump faster and keep the momentum faster. So I'm gonna put it up into C. I mean S, my bad. Freeze Tag is a great meet and greet, yeah. Frozen next to another player, great, and get to know them. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You have excellent perspective. You have excellent perspective, Fulfin. I very much appreciate it. Let me Okay. Putt. I don't know about Putt Pond, but I played the other Putt Golfs, and I think they're pretty okay. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I actually enjoy the Putt ones, because Putt Quest. Yeah, basically both those things. I think they'd go to A tier. Okay. So I have about 7 or a little bit more minutes left. I usually wait till he gets home, and then I raid out to somebody. Okay, so let's see here. My goodness gracious. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna move here? What is finalized? Okay. I want so bad to move Beat Saber down to F, but that's literally a personal opinion, and I'll be crucified for it. World's good games and pretty good recreating the game. Yeah, I believe so too. I think you're right. Let's see here. That's a hard one, guys. That's a hard one. Give me a second. Now that we've got everything. Okay. Let's see here. Alright. Okay, now here's where I can reach most everything. Alright, so let's think about this objectively, I suppose. Or at least I'll have to. Yeah. I kind of just want to move stuff down. Not even gonna lie, I don't feel like moving anything up. I don't know. That's so hard. The thing is, I don't understand why that that one place that's basically a Murder 4 clone isn't here, because I actually enjoy it more. I think it's called Blackout. Yeah, I enjoy Blackout more than Murder 4. I'm not even gonna lie. Actually, I think I'm just gonna move Murder 4 up to S. Well, actually, wait a minute. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let me think here. You know what? I'm moving Bomber IO down. And I'm going to move... Yikers, McIkers. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to move VRware down. It's a good game. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Let's see here. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Yikers, McIkers, my dude. See, the thing is that with some VR, it's so hard to judge games because the one and dones, they don't deserve to just be kind of shoved off to the side, you know? But with VRC, a lot of it is replayability. But the thing is that you can't just do that with every game, you know? And it sucks to judge them based on that, but I think I almost kind of have to for ones that you want to play with more than just one person, you know? So unfortunately, I actually think I'm going to have to move Haunted Asylum and Thermal Treatment down. Honestly, it's kind of shaping up a little bit better. Darn. Sucks. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to move VR Ball down. It's a good game. It's a good game, don't get me wrong. Actually, wait a minute. I think I'm kind of satisfied with this list, actually. I think I'm satisfied with this one. Yeah, this does me good. Okay, yeah. This is it. This is it, guys. This is it. All right, give me 1 second. Oh, oopsie daisy. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna make myself small again. But basically, I think we got it, guys. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. Yes, we've done it. We're done it, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of... I did this world the other night with a friend, and we did anime. You have so many tiles listed as S tier, it was running off the board at the end. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Okay, legitimately, like I'm gonna do anime sometime soon, and I love to, and I want to. I want to, and the thing is, I almost did it, but it was like way too big. The last time I did adult cartoons, talked to my friend, and to be honest, I can probably do my adult cartoon one right now without any input. Legitimately, okay. So one second. I'm gonna switch over to camera mode for 1 second. That's okay. Okay. Do you mean I am the one? Yeah, Chris. Sorry, I just let me take a picture. So. All right, radical. That's good enough for me. All right, so here we go. Before he gets here, which is gonna be in like literally 1 minute, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna put in the adult cartoon one for what I believe, you know. Tier list and all images. Yes, there it is. Adult cartoons. Here we go. Oops, Daisy. That fucking sucks. Give me a second. Move forward. Okay. Okay. South Park, automatic S tier, of course. Rick and Morty. The thing is, listen, this is amazing. This is an amazing show with a lot of things. I'll actually... Okay, for now, I'm going to push into be A tier. Harvey Birdman. I enjoy Harvey Birdman. I enjoy Harvey Goodman. I honestly, like, as much as it is, I think it's kind of a B. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so don't hate me. Don't hate me. Do not hate me. Because I want to let you know beforehand, I'm so sorry. But... just for now. Just for now. Just for now. Listen, they're not wrong. Give me a second. I can't do them all. I have to see them next to each other. Aeon Flux. This is one of the first adult cartoons slash anime that was ever released on Adult Swim. I don't know enough about it to actually give it a proper grade. Everyone's gonna hate me. Everyone's gonna hate me. Actually, give me a second. Okay. King of the Hill. Fuck, I want to say B tier, but honestly, it has enough nuance to be A tier, and I think it is. But let me just make a second. Daria, instant S. Instant S. If you know anything about Daria, then it's instant S. I would probably say, like, while sometimes it can be hard to watch Duckman, based on all the nuances that are in the show. The thing is, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this list again another time, probably the next time, and I'm going to explain it. But I'm going to put them where I think they should be. Okay. Castlevania. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. It has some writing issues, but it's still pretty great. Final Space, I don't know enough about it. My friend said it was pretty excellent. I don't remember if he finished it. You'll see the listing that he and I made together when I make that post on Twitter. So if you want to see that, just watch my Twitter. Like, literally, just check me maybe every day or so, every 3-4 days, and I'll see there. Simpsons. The Boondocks, instant S, instant S. No question about it. If you think otherwise, we'll fight. We'll fight. I'll fist fight you, and I will happily lose. but I'm gonna fist fight you. It's what would occur. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know enough about Critic to give it like. But you know what? Okay. You know what? I don't know enough about Critic to give it like an actual like rating. Him and I put it in F because we didn't know and we had to like set it out. Okay. Do the nuance that's in Tuca and Birdie? Yes. Happy Tree Friends. It serves the purpose, but it's not what I enjoy. Cleveland Show, unfortunately. Oh fuck. Everyone's gonna hate me. F is for family. Yo, it has its new. Okay. I might need to switch. Mr. Pickles, I'm so sorry. You there you go. You've gone to the Shadow Realm, my friend. Bob's Burgers, okay. That's a pretty great A, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even have to think about that one. That's an A. Nearly an S. Nearly an S. Yeah, here's the thing. This is the thing of me and Critic. Like me with this show and Critic, I don't know enough. I don't know enough. But I know they're pretty good for their time. And it's distinguished by its like grainy look. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna open the thing and just see. Okay, just checking to see if anything changed. Okay. Ah. Okay. The Venture Bros, pretty great, but there's so much filler in it that it makes it a unresponsive show. Actually, give me a second. I think I might move King of the Hill up, but oh man, but I don't know. I love King of the Hill and it's a great show. It's just that I can't stand to watch it all the time. So you can't just flip it on and I'll be totally happy with it is the issue. Never mind, I guess we'll put it back into B. The thing, okay, here's the thing. It's an excellent show. It's a fantabulous show. It's a phenomenal show. It's caused waves that good. Moral Oral actually has a lot of, it has a lot of, things about it. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand to watch it, but I love listening to stuff about it, and I know, and I can recognize its nuances. This is actually, it's basically, what do you call it? It's a satire of Christian fundamentalism, conservatism, and what it does to families, and also with the fucked up, plus the fucked upness of what Adult Swim can do. It got canceled for an episode that was just way too real for some people, which is unfortunate. Let's see here. Moral Oral. Fuck. Damn, I can't believe I'm doing this. I guess I'm gonna put it in B. BoJack Horseman, instant S, no question. No fucking question at all. These are in no particular order, by the way. These are in no particular order. Futurama. Fuck. I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather watch it over some of the other ones. Archer, instant S, instant S. Always funny. Literally always funny. Ugly Americans, it's pretty alright. It's just alright is the issue. People are gonna be like, why are you putting Family Guy on the other so far down? He's like, do you not taste it? Was like, just because they're popular doesn't mean they're good exactly, okay? Or it also doesn't fit everyone's taste, okay? Disenchantment, it's a pretty good Netflix show, I'm not gonna lie to you. It has a fair amount of nuances, but the thing is that it's still just an adventure. It's just an adventure and you don't want to think about it too hard. I'm gonna go with B. Actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna put Venture Bros a little farther down. No, not D. Let's see. Okay. Here's Drawn Together. Okay. Drawn Together is super offensive and you almost don't want to watch it. Like, only if you're okay with listening to anything would you ever watch it. But if you can deal with that offensive humor and you can find it funny, while still recognizing while that humor is not okay, why that humor is not okay, it can still be funny, okay? Okay. I'm going to say honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of enjoy watching it more than King of the Hill and The Simpsons, which is issue because, see, the thing is, King of the Hill and Simpsons are better shows than this. They're better shows than this, but I enjoy Drawn Together more, even though it is way offensive and not okay. Fuck. I'm putting B, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Big Mouth, fuck. I hate that there's actual nuances about this, especially in the later seasons, because they have a lot of characterizations for so the first 4 seasons, they're cringy as hell. They're cringy as hell. They still have like stories in them, but they're cringy as hell. But mostly I enjoyed the development about because they'll have social commentary too, based on people's race and ethnicity and how they're treated, not to mention how like women are treated as well. I enjoy the characterization on the gay kid Matthew and the autistic kid Caleb, and like the thing is that they'll actually in the later seasons they'll have you spend a lot of time with them to getting to like know them even better. They used to be side characters, they're not anymore. They're fantastic characters. Man, I hate to say it, because the thing is sometimes I can't even watch it because sometimes it does frustrate me. But I'm actually gonna put an A. One more. Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken is a great show. It's fantastic. It doesn't fit my taste anymore. I'm gonna put it with C. That's it. I'm not gonna polish this one actually. I'm gonna do this another day. I'm gonna do this with all the reasoning that I have right now. I'm gonna do this another day. Okay. Oh man, I almost want to do another one if I can. You know what? No, I think I have to go. Unfortunately, I have to go. All right. Give me a second. Where are they? The pins are over here. Well, it's been fun, everyone. I hope you've had an absolutely excellent day. Hope your night's been great. Everything has been marvelous, and I hope that tomorrow finds you well. For you deserve all the love and care in the world, okay? I wish you all the very best. I hope you all have an excellent night, alright? It's been TallTailsTales, signing out. Maybe I can tell another tale another day. See you guys. I'm gonna go find us a raid target now. If you wouldn't mind, please sit patiently. Maybe open up another tab and find something to watch real quick while I move you over to somebody else. Please don't move, or else basically like the raid numbers and how much you're contributing to someone will be not noticed in the slightest. So it would be fantastic if you could just keep this tab open and wait until it's rated over, and after you can watch them, click off. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to let you know. Well, I mean, please, if you can, give them at least like get your first impressions of them first before you like zip off, okay? Unless you need to like go eat or go to sleep or you're about to go work, all that other shit, all the stuff that far more important than that, you know. All right, I'm gonna dip off. Give me a second, my guys. Best of luck to you all. Thank you very much, buddy. I very much appreciate it. What you got, you rascal, you I'm gonna switch it over to the VRC stuff real quick. Oh no, when I did the whole like thing, after I took the picture, did it do that thing where oh my goodness. How long have I had it disabled? I worry. Oh my god, I can't even click it off. Okay, I'm gonna take these off my hands. Give me a second. Actually, wait a minute. Oh my god, for the last thing, I had the camera one open. I had the camera instead of the stream cam. That's unfortunate, my dude. Is it stream cam now? It is stream cam now. Okay. Okay, got it. How I feel, what's the deal, baby? I don't make for you, that you make me do. Sitting up for you, I'm on it. Alright, I'm also take off the input off these, because whoa. Yeah, right? Not a good stream with that little scuff. You're correct, my man. Give me a second, I'm gonna find us a fair amount raid target. Thank you so much. Means a lot that you guys are here. Give me a second, I'm also gonna switch my mic real quick. Because I'm gonna turn the thing off. Oh, let me also input real quick. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Give me 1 second. Alright, I've switched over. Oh my god. As my whole body breaks. Oh my god. Look what it's doing to me. Oh no, that's the wrong one. The wrong tab. Okay. Whew. Okay. Bobby, stop, darling bean. Stop, darling bean. I know you're a good boy. I know you're both good boys, but give me a minute. Give me a minute. Oh my lordy, little buddy boy. Charlie, Bobber, Dobber, Bean. I know. They all just want to love a minute. Stop. Oh, no. Oh, they haven't gotten here yet, which is kind of freaky to me, but I also didn't read this text, even though I did read this text earlier, so I'm just gonna make sure they didn't just tell me that they're staying. No, they don't have a thing telling me, or even a message in Telegram telling me that they're staying at work. Okay, I love you, buddy. I love you so much, Monkey. Please, you're distracting me. I'm trying to be a good bean and raid out. Let's see. Cute beans. Cute beans for cute beans. Okay. I might have found out retarded. I just need to have theirs open first before I do anything. Which is good, which is good, which is good, which is great. Let me just ensure that everything is A-okay here. Oh my god. I'm thinking about Photoshop and shit. Okay. Wait. Charlie, you're fine, bud. Oh, actually, based on... Oh, but they have that many viewers, though. Okay, so they definitely don't need that. What this? How about this guy? Let's see here. Ash, Bobby, I know, baby. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy, Charlie. Yeah. You're such a sweet bean. I know. I know, darling. Okay, yeah, this is enough for me. I think this is enough for me.
What?
I don't know who they are, though.
Oh, did you like that video?
But I mean, it's kind of like that, you know? Alright, here we go. I'm going to send you guys out to Lol Haida. I hope you guys have an absolutely excellent night. I hope it's all marvelous. Best of luck, everyone, okay? Have a good one. And rating in just now.